Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you. We're good.
Yeah,
I
good.
guys, once again, when we go live, we do have some technical difficulties. I'm working on it, I promise. But it's okay. I'll
Listen,
come back and edit whatever we got to edit. But my friend, thank you so much. I call you my friend because every time I have a guest, you are now officially my
absolutely.
friend.
Come
So,
on.
how are you doing? Thank you
I'm
so much for
doing
accepting this.
well.
How are you doing today?
Of
Doing
course,
well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, working away. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm super, super excited. I know before we went live, I was just like, man, I know I had wanted, or I had told you to be a guest like months ago, and life happens, and that happens. Don't think you're the first one. Life happens. Even with myself, sometimes the schedules just don't align. But I'm super excited to finally have you here. And just a
Yeah,
quick, backstory for people who are watching or people who come back and watch the replay. First of all, give it a like, comment, share all that good stuff, and subscribe. But
hit that
I found
subscribe.
Yes, please. That helps because YouTube, Jesus, it can be difficult
Come
sometimes, but it's
on.
okay. We're here. But I found you on TikTok, and which the song that I put, so that's kind of like how I found you, which I absolutely love that song. Or you're like dancing to it,
Thank
in
you.
the background. But I love it. So people who don't know you, I always ask people just to give a quick little intro of who you are, and then we'll kind of go from there, like how you started in the music and all this good stuff. But just a quick little intro so they can know
Absolutely.
who you are.
Yeah, my name is Saint Rene, so I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm originally from Tampa, Florida. I moved out to LA. It's been 7 years now, which is crazy to
Wow,
think. I know,
time
and
flies.
yeah, I know. And so I've been here for 7 years, just kind of doing this thing. I've been doing music since I was about, I want to say like maybe 13. I really officially wrote my first song, and then I really took it super seriously at I want to say like about 20 years of age. Like right after
Okay.
college, I kind of just told my pops, I was like, "Hey man, give me like one semester to prove to you that I can make this music thing work." And oddly enough, not oddly enough, it was meant to be, but
Yeah.
I made it work within a semester. I got investors and people who were really interested in what I was doing,
Wow.
and kind of just went from there. But I've been around and been doing music pretty much my whole life, if that makes sense. I'm one
Yeah.
of those like
Yeah.
church musician types, so I've just been
Okay.
around it my whole life.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. It's so funny because I'm not gonna say everyone, but a lot of people have the story of like doing, music in church, or singing or
Yeah.
in the musician stuff like that. I think that's really cool. So I always ask everybody. So you said 13. Like, were you just the type of kid that would just be singing all the time, or when did you where you're like, wait a minute, I got a voice, like I got a voice,
Yeah.
or what people tell you, or what?
I think people told me that I could sing. I personally was someone that I didn't really develop my confidence until, crazy enough, until like my 20s. But like throughout
Okay.
life, it was more people just being like, "Hey, you can sing." And I was like, maybe I can. And just kind of like I was just mimicking so much of what I heard growing up, and people would react to a certain way. And I'll never
Mm,
forget, I was I think it was 7 or 8. I'd went to like a kids camp
mhm.
with my kids pastor and a bunch of kids, and we'd went there. And before I ever became a singer, I mean, I've been singing my whole life, but before I ever became a singer, I was obsessed with rap music in like this
Okay.
is the early like 2000s. And so
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna be a rapper. And and so I remember going to that kids camp, and they were doing a talent show. It was the last day of camp, and I just remember my youth pastor was like, "You want to go up and freestyle?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I
Like,
went up
yes.
there, and yeah, and I went up there and I freestyled, and it was probably like, I don't know, like 500 kids. And I just remember freestyling just
Nothing. Nothing serious.
the goofiest thing, but I just remember everyone losing their minds. Just, "Ah."
Really.
And I literally thought to myself, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that was it.
You're
And
like,
that's
I
kind of
like
like what
this.
really, right. And that's really what started it. And then I just started studying a lot of music in my teenage years and trying to learn how to write songs. And I had this really dope friend of mine named Ryan, and another friend named Josh, and they kind of just sat me down and taught me how to structure songs. And
Oh,
from
okay.
there, I just actually figured out, okay, cool. And I probably had like 50 composition notebooks of just the most terrible songs
Dang.
you've ever heard in your life. And that's kind of where I really started just writing all the time, and
Mm,
I kind of moved away from rapping and really leaned more into singing. Because once I got into high school,
okay.
I started realizing, girls like singing more than they like rapping.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Like,
And
or become
so
a romantic lover boy,
you know
but
what I'm
artist.
saying? And so I learned very quickly, like, I'm not gonna rap no more. I'm gonna sing. And so
Yeah,
started really picking up singing again. And I went to an art school and really, really
that's
learned how to
cool.
sing properly. And
Mm,
that's really what just kind of set me off on that path.
mm.
And yeah, it's been pretty wild ever since, honestly.
Yeah, I love that one. That's why I love asking the story, the backstory, because sometimes you see artists or you find people on TikTok or on social media, and it's fun to know the backstory. But I know you also are a musician, right? You play piano and guitar, or what do you play? Because I know you play instruments, right?
Yeah, so I play a little bit of piano. I'm more like a producer's type musician.
Okay.
So like if I can sit down and I can show you, okay,
Mm.
like I'm gonna play this, or I can kind of sing to you what I hear. So I'm like, okay, the guitar needs to be
Oh,
like like it's just, and then
okay.
they'll kind of know. I don't
Hmm.
know enough theory on my own to actually just
Gotcha.
sit there and really like make something great. It's something I really do want to learn. I really want to learn
Yeah.
how to sit and just craft music like that, but that's not
Hmm.
something that's my strong suit yet. It's more so the actual songwriting component and kind of hearing it in my head and telling the
Mm.
producer, this is what you do, this is how we layer it, this is, and it
Yeah.
always kind of worked out that way, just kind of figuring out what the structure is of the thing, how it sounds, the sonics of it. And yeah, it's kind of always been my thing. So I'm more of a producer than I am any type of instrumental player.
Okay. Well, I mean, I love it. I mean, regardless, it's still good because obviously you have an ear and you can do it. So I think that's amazing. And I say that because I grew up in a musical family too. My dad and my brother, they're both by ear, piano and all this
I
stuff.
love
It's
it.
just by ear. Yeah, so it's really cool. I always when I was younger, I thought I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the piano. But no, I never could
Slap.
do anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a whole music. This is why I love music. But no. So I want to talk about the song. Obviously, was that the first song that you put on TikTok on social media? The baby
So
see you or no?
no. So the
You're like
thing
no.
is,
Maybe that's the first one I heard. That's why I'm stuck on it.
oh man, me
The
me and
story
social
behind it.
media, yeah, me and social media are worst enemies. And so I'm
Oh no.
really I'm really trying to learn how to better, place myself on these apps
Yeah.
and whatnot. One of my biggest regrets ever was like growing up in the YouTube era and not
Mm,
taking that seriously. Because you see things
yeah.
growing up and you're like, oh, it's not gonna be here to stay. And then it's one
Yeah.
of those things where it's like, man, if I would have taken YouTube seriously in 2007,
Yeah.
like and so the
Yep.
thing is now I've been trying to, navigate that actual space of just, okay, how do I position myself as a musician on social media? And so
Mm.
that song, oddly enough, it's so funny, that song just dropped last year. And I've actually
Okay.
had that song since that song with his name is Zach Paradise, and he's actually
Yeah.
in the other room right now. We're mixing
Oh
the
really?
album. Yeah,
That's
and so
cool.
he's in the studio next door, and so I had that song since 2021. I had this
Okay.
idea, and I sat down with some musicians, we played it out, and it was so dope, but the beat wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. I was like, this
Okay.
just doesn't hit right. And
Yeah.
so I took it from producer to producer to producer, and it just didn't properly, it just didn't hit right. And
No.
I remember I'd been around Zach through the church that we serve at, and just kind of
Okay.
seeing him also too in just different friend groups and songwriter groups. And I just remember hearing his music and be like, I bet he could do that. I bet you he
Yeah.
could take that. And I literally brought him the song, and we had the finished song literally within 4 hours. It's just like that. He
Whoa.
just he just
That's
understood the
great.
assignment. He did the drums, and it was just perfect. He wrote his part immediately. And so that song, Missing Some You. Yeah, I've had that since 2021. And Baby I See You is a song that I wrote with my other producer brother, Harley. And we
Okay.
had that song and dropped it as well. Actually, I think either the year before, I think the year before. This
Mm,
last year and a half of music's been a bit of a journey because it's kind of like we got to a point of releasing music consistently. Music has
yeah.
changed so much even since
Yeah.
I joined music. When I got into music
Yeah.
at like 21, we still were giving out CDs.
Yeah.
And so we were printing out CDs and giving them to people. And so everything changed in 2013 with the event of the streaming era. And so it's just been like every single couple years something changes. So it's like I just
Mm.
got used to the streaming era, and then all of a sudden it's COVID and TikTok, and it's like,
Uh,
what is this? What is
you're like,
this?
no.
It's yeah, it's right when I finally get the grip of something, something
Yeah,
else
yeah.
comes up, and I'm
Uh,
like,
for real.
and then at that point too, in 2020, I had just gone through a really rough breakup. I had just lost my job, and so the last thing I was trying to do was be online and be like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's so it
You're
was
like,
just
I
one of
don't
those
want to
things.
do
Yeah, and so it's just one of those things where I've been ever since then kind of
that.
trying to not play catch up, but really just trying to learn this new space and
Yeah,
really
yeah,
present myself as an artist with authenticity, because I don't
yeah,
want to just do something just to do it either. I feel as
yeah.
though this space is very crowded with just, you know, a lot of different people trying to just make
Right.
money or get famous, and that's not really my
Yeah.
thing. And so um, yeah, so Baby I See You then came out a year and a half ago, and that was such a special, just beautiful song for me.
Yeah.
And so those have been the songs that I've been promoting the
Yeah.
most on my
Yeah.
TikTok, just because I found that they related the most. And it actually kind of
Yeah.
switched gears for me personally as an artist, because prior to that I was making a lot of just upbeat dance music. It's really
Yeah.
fun. I love making people dance. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
things. I when I used to have like a
I
cover
love it. I
band,
love to
and
dance.
you know, and it's just so fun. But I've learned on social media, it's like, okay, it's a little bit more about like making people feel a thing. And
Mm-hmm.
those two songs really made people feel something. And so I
Yeah.
said, okay, cool. Like, we're going to take some time and actually focus on this. And I have a friend, her name's Mary Tess, and she does a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of like social media stuff. And I've kind of
Yeah.
learned, like, okay, I got to be consistent. I got to do this. I got to do that. And,
Yeah.
she just taught me a lot of like the cool little tricks and things. And I stayed
Mhm.
consistent for a few months. And literally, I think it was maybe after 3 weeks of posting, you commented, and then I got connected with you, and then from there the audience just kept growing, and it was just like, ah, damn it, there really is something to this. Like, this really works.
That's really
And
work.
I know. And so I took a bit of a break this last month because I've been really focusing on this album, but I've been really working hard on collecting a lot of content. I'm gonna really kick it back into gear within the next 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about that too, just because it's you know, now it's I understand it more. So it's a bit
Mm.
more of like, it's not about numbers for me as much as it is, okay, how can I, you know, bring something really cool to this space that really reflects who I am as a creative. And I'm excited
Yeah.
to kind of take that on again.
That's so exciting because I think you are right, because especially nowadays in social media, I feel like it's how you say what's relatable to people
Hmm.
and how you connect with people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I think that's true. I mean, like when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, this song is so good. And I still listen to it. You know, I'll be like,
Thank you.
Alexa, play Saint Rene. You know, and it's really good. And but the cool thing I feel like as an artist that you are, you know, I think it is, I mean, I can't speak for it because I'm not an artist, but I'm saying you have to be kind of volatile, right? Like where you're like, okay, well, this is my type of jams if you want to, you know, if you say, you know, but I got to see what people are liking, you know, because you want to connect with the crowd. I like that how you say that, because yes, on TikTok there has been artists who have gone viral, who have
Hmm.
shoot. I feel like TikTok artists are more famous than like the real artists nowadays. It's
Yeah.
crazy, like what social media does, right? And
Yeah.
we we do live in a social media era, well, fortunately and unfortunately in some ways, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, but I feel like that's really cool because it is a way, a platform to connect in, and I like it because other artists that I've interviewed say the same thing. Like, listen, I want to stay true to who I am, and I want to
Hmm.
be able to connect with people. I think that's important because I feel like when you connect with people, people are more likely to like listen, hear it over and over again. Kind
Hmm.
of like we were talking about this behind, you know, before we started, like the new Bruno Mars album. Like, well, let's
Yeah.
talk about just really quick. It's about you, but like, what do you think
Come
about that? I mean, I'm
on. Come on. I liked it. You know, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody about it earlier today. I think the one thing that I really appreciate about it is, it's funny. I've been following Bruno Mars since like 2008, 2009. So I remember
yeah,
following him on Twitter and him being like, "Please come to my show. I hope someone comes to
really,
my show." Yeah, when he was out here in LA, like doing it. And
that's
so watching
crazy.
the right, so watching like the ascension of him as an artist has been such a really cool journey. But I think the thing for me that I really appreciate about this album, the thing I love about Bruno Mars too, is like,
Yeah,
he's so corny and he's
yeah.
so goofy, but he sells it. I believe
Mm.
him when he's out here and he's like cha cha cha. I'm like, Yes, yes. And so, and that's the thing that I think with music and with arts in general, I feel as though you have to have what your thing is. So for some people, it's like, I'm an
Yep.
artiste. And then for some
Yeah.
people, it's I just want to make music that makes people dance. And so I look at a guy like Bruno Mars,
Yeah.
and it's so clear that it's about the experience. It's about how I
Yeah.
can make people feel through the music. Even with if you listen to that first song, like Risk It All, it's such a beautiful,
Oh,
like, you know,
he
and
had
it
me in my
immediately
feels, and I didn't want to be in my
you,
feels. I'm like, stop
you
it.
know, and it just it immediately grabs you in such a way, and it's just a testament to one, it's a testament to who he is as a songwriter and also as a musician studying, because I feel as though a lot of musicians don't study enough and like understand where certain
True.
sounds and things come from. And so immediately hearing that and being like, wow, like it's so cool, you know, he clearly has been in LA for the last, I'm sure, 20 years of his life, and
Yeah.
this is what music sounds like out here. You could be driving down the street and someone has a little band and it's just and they're
Well,
playing all this kind of music and it's so
yeah.
cool. So I really appreciated how the album took a bit more of an authentic vibe versus something like 24 Karat Magic, where it's like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
he likes the 90s, but this felt more personal, this album, you know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say something I love about Bruno Mars, and I know we were gonna talk about this, but
Yeah.
I went to one of his concerts, and I wanted to go to another one, but damn, his prices are really high, but which it's worth it. But one thing I loved of his performance is that like he brings kind of like the old school. That's why I feel like you guys, maybe I don't know if you can relate with him, but like he brings kind of like the old school vibes, old school
Oh
songs
yeah.
into like and just creates his own thing. Like this latest album, like you said, I very much appreciated because that first song Risk It All is very, he's got the mariachi if you see it in the
Yeah.
video, and it has actually there's a really famous Mexican artist called Luis Miguel, and it's kind of that type of like, I don't know if you got one of his songs and just kind of,
Hmm.
but I was like, oh, mind blown. But you know what, Bruno Mars does that. He'll disappear for 5, 6, 8 years, and then when he comes back, he's like, gonna come back with the banger. You know what I'm saying? That, and he does it. But I love how you said that he's very, he has to obviously study his craft. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's important as an artist to be I guess to kind of read the room and be like, all right, what new can I bring now? Because music, like you said, music is such a beautiful, it's a universal language. And when you can make songs and connect with people, it's such a game changer. Like your songs, honestly, and I don't say that just because I'm interviewing you, but like every time I hear it, it comes up on the For You, I'm like, and I'm like so excited to hear your songs because, well, you have a beautiful
Thank you.
voice, obviously, but the songs, like you said, you have to kind of like either relate with them or connect, like the song Bruno Mars, that Risk It. I was like, really, why do you
Yeah.
have to put that song? And maybe kind of get in
Yeah.
this delusional space, then I'm like, all right, then gosh, Bruno. But that's the effect that you can have on people as an artist. I'm saying
Yeah.
it from a fan point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that
absolutely.
make sense?
No, absolutely. And I think the thing is too, it's again, it's about authenticity, like being your
That
most
part. Yep.
authentic self. And so it's so like clear that he loves to like, especially when you look at, it's funny, one of my biggest regrets in life. I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but one of my biggest regrets in life is in
Yeah.
2021 when him and Anderson .Paak did the Silk Sonic residency in Vegas. I found some tickets and it was like, I don't know, it was cheap. It was like $150. And Vegas is 4 hours from here. So it's like, I'm gonna hop
Yeah.
in the car, I'm gonna go to Vegas. But then I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? They're gonna go on tour and they're gonna take this on the road and it's gonna be great. And I'm gonna see him when he comes to, the Kia, the Forum.
Mm.
And he did not go on tour. And I was
No.
so upset because I was like, yo, I could have. And it's one of my
Oh
biggest
man.
regrets in life. But I think the thing is the cool thing about him and even artists like him, it's like it's being authentic to what your vision is as an artist. And so
Yep.
he's not the most artistic, most lyrical, most like original kind of artist, but when you listen to his music, you feel something. And as somebody
Yeah.
who played his music for many
Mm-hmm.
years, I used to have a cover band in Florida before I moved out here to LA, and I played his music night after
Mm-hmm.
night. I've probably sung Uptown Funk easily like 600
Oh,
times.
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I know these songs back to front, but it's a
Same.
thing where when I play these songs and I sing, I understand because I watch as people
Yeah.
react and I watch how
Mm.
excited they get, how
Yep.
happy they get, how just
Yep.
like joyful they become. And there's something to be said about that. I feel as though
Yep.
every artist has to figure out what is authentically them. For him, it's making people dance. It's these beautiful little ballads that really like get people going. And for other
Mhm.
people, it's, oh, okay, I want to tell a story, you know. And
Mm.
I think the biggest thing about, you know, being a great artist is figuring out what is your vision, you know. And so
Yeah.
hearing this album was really cool because it was clear he had a vision for this
Yeah.
album,
Oh, yeah.
versus just like, okay, I'm gonna throw a bunch of pop songs at the wall, and so that was dope.
Yeah. Even the title, right? The romantic. I mean, he knew exactly what he was targeting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so, yeah. So I mean, it's really cool. So, but honestly, and I'm not just saying this as I'm interviewing you, but I feel those kind of type of vibes with you and him, like kind of some type of, obviously
yeah,
you're your own artist, but I'm saying
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. But that's I agree with you because that's what it is. It's what they how they make you feel like he's definitely an entertainer, 100%. Because when I saw him here in Salt Lake City, this was like years ago. Oh my god, me and my friend, the day of. Let's go see Bruno Mars.
You're in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I'm in Salt Lake City.
I love Salt Lake City. That's a
Yeah,
fire city. Yeah,
yeah. I love it here. I've been here for a minute, and people are like, "What are you doing in Utah?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm in Salt Lake. Salt Lake's not bad. I like it. If you're ever here,
Utah's
let me
lit.
know." Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
But I remember going. So we go, and this is the last part. We'll kind of get off the Bruno Mars, but we went to. We're like, let's go last minute. $64 we paid for his ticket at that time. This was years ago. $64,
Yeah,
and we got like so close. I mean, the only bad thing there was like this huge like light posts like kind of in the way, but we were so close
uh-huh.
to him. But he is an entertainer. I mean, he played the drums and like just the energy he brings. So I think that's
Yeah.
very important as a artist, and I feel like you have the same thing. And so I do want to ask you though, speaking on that, where did the what is it? What do they call you, or what do you call yourself? The King of the Groove?
King of the Groove.
Yeah, are you still with that, or would you say that was kind of like
Absolutely,
frustrated?
absolutely. I think for that, again, it kind of comes down to one of the things that I love to do, especially playing cover gigs for so long, is making people dance. And I love something that
Yes.
has a groove to it, to where like it depends,
Mhm.
right? So there's
Yeah.
grooves where it's just like, you know, you feel
Yeah,
it, and then
yeah, yeah.
there's also grooves where it's just like, oh shit, like this feels.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
can we
vibing, right?
cuss on here? Can we cuss on here? I don't know
Yeah,
if we can.
yeah. It's
Okay,
real
great.
talk. Real talk.
Great, real talk. So, you know, it's just like, oh man, like that feels so good. And so that's
Yeah.
always been my thing. And also too, when I Saint Rene, it's funny. I was going through a lot during 2020, and I had this situation with just a manager and a bunch of stuff. And so
Mm,
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change my name so that I can keep putting out all this music that I have, and I'm gonna do this thing. And I figured it out. This is gonna be my name. And also too, it's almost as though when I'm on stage, I'm a very different person than when I'm
mm.
off stage. When I'm on stage,
Okay.
it's like it's exactly like the Bruno Mars thing. It's a showman. It's we're gonna dance and we're
Yeah.
gonna have a good time and we're gonna, you know, get down
You get into your
and
element.
exactly. And that person on stage, that's Saint Rene to me. It like comes out of
Mhm.
me and it's this really big performer. I'm dancing, I'm, you know, getting down.
Yeah.
And then when I'm off stage, I'm very just like, you know, I'm
Chill.
fun and I'm a good time, but I'm way more chill. I'm not as like, I'm not as confident. I'm not as like, this is mine. And so King of the Groove is like an extension of Saint Rene to where it's just,
Oh,
I love making groovy music. And I just feel as though I'm one of the best at what I do, you know, in that regard, is to making just like this really awesome dancing music that you can feel and just it just sounds dope and it has a bit of like an old vibe to it, but it's
yeah.
also very much so planted right now in the present.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing too, is like the one thing I do appreciate about Bruno Mars or people like him is they're able to make music from a certain time and they're able to do it very well
Yes.
because they're very good musicians. That's not me.
That
I
part.
love to take certain aspects of that and then
Yeah.
also match it with a lot of things that are present right now, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that because again, I feel like I said, music to me is such a beautiful thing. And I think even what you're expressing is just that energy, you know, and I get
Mhm.
what you mean. Like when you're up on stage, I mean, not because I do, but like when I, like me, for example, I teach Zumba and
Yeah.
I know when I go on there, I'm just like, and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm like, I'm just in my element, you know, you
Yeah.
just kind of get into this place. But I think that's really neat because that's another way of identifying you, making yourself
Mhm.
you know, unique artist, you know, and
Yeah.
true to who you are. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I agree. I mean, with other artists, I feel like you do have those songs where you just connect, like you said, whether you want to get up and dance or you're just like, oh man, this hits my feelings, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or you're just vibing
Yeah.
with the music, you know?
Yeah.
And I always say music is healing, and
Yeah,
whether depending on where you are in your life, and we all go through life, and
yeah,
ups and downs. That's just the way life goes. And a
yeah,
lot of times, if there is artists and music that you can relate to, or you just feel good music,
yeah,
where you're just like,
yeah,
let me just press play. Wait, I still think play, but
yeah.
and just vibe with some music. And I think that's super important. So I think that's really, really cool. So on that note, I mean, I know we talked about Bruno Mars, but is there any other artists that where you're like, damn, like these artists right here inspired me, like when I was just starting the music or as an artist, like which artists are you like your top, let's say three?
So it's so funny because I wasn't allowed, so I'm a pastor's kid. So I actually was not allowed to listen to a lot of music growing
Okay.
up. So
Okay.
I didn't really truly take in a ton of music until maybe middle school, high school. I think
Okay.
it's so funny. There's this video game called Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. And on the video game, they had radio stations where you could listen to music. And to me, it was
Okay.
secular music. And I just remember
Right.
putting in that video game, and all of a sudden I'm listening to like 50 Cent and Sean Paul and all these
You're like,
people, and I'm like,
what?
oh, it's crazy. I'm listening to Fabulous, and I'm like upstairs, and it's like, so I grabbed I stole, sorry, Abuelo, but I stole his headphones one time, and I took them back home to my house, and I plugged it into the TV, and I remember just driving around in this game, just listening to
Mm,
all this music I wasn't even allowed to listen to, and just kind of taking it in. And a lot of my true fascination for music kind of started there. And so
mhm.
growing up, I would say I didn't have too many idols because I didn't truly understand the extent of
Yeah.
it. Like I
Yeah.
personally had, Kirk Franklin that I grew up with, or like
Yeah.
Donnie McClurkin, these like gospel artists or,
Yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
artists and whatnot. And then once I got to college, actually really high school, because I got my own laptop and I started downloading things. So then I really fell in love with like Kanye West
Yeah.
and
Okay.
just different artists that I saw. Like, okay, obviously we all know Elvis is a legend, so I'm listening to like Elvis and trying to take in as much music as I can. I was allowed to
Mhm.
listen to Michael Jackson growing up because I feel
Were
as
you?
though everyone's allowed to listen to Michael Jackson at some
That's
point.
fine.
Also, you just can't escape him at a certain point. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
It's
That's
kind of
true.
like it's kind of like Mariah Carey at Christmas. It doesn't matter where you go, she's there. She's gonna
Yep.
find you. You know.
Yeah. When you
Um,
try to not listen to it, it's gonna be there.
right.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really until I got to college that I really started to listen to all the music that I essentially was not allowed to listen to. So it's
Mhm.
so funny. So many people will tell me, "Oh, you kind of sound like Prince." I didn't listen to a single Prince record until I was 18, and I actually
Wow.
listened to Purple Rain for the first time. And I kind of
Uh-huh.
I kind of appreciate it though, because I feel as if I was a kid listening to
Mhm.
Purple Rain, it wouldn't slap. I'd be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
7 years
True.
old, like, put on Michael Jackson, you know.
Like Purple Rain.
Right. And so
Yeah.
as an 18-year-old listening to this music and just really, being so enamored by the skill and the musicianship that was happening there. And so I say all that to say, now as an actual a grown adult artist, my number one would definitely actually, it's crazy. This a hot take, but it's still Kanye West, man. There's just
Really?
the thing is about that is growing up. I just remember the first time I heard his music. This is
Mhm.
back when I wanted to be a rapper, and
Yeah, yeah.
obviously I was a pastor's kid, so I was a Christian rapper. So I remember
That's
the
it. Wait,
first
real quick.
time.
It's crazy. My dad was a pastor too
Yeah,
for
yeah. Look,
well,
see,
like 3 years.
PKs for life.
That's funny.
And I just remember getting this, like, it wasn't even an iPod, it was Zune. It was like an MP3 player.
Oh yeah,
But I
yeah.
didn't
Okay.
I didn't have a computer to put no MP3s on it, so I just listened to the radio. And I
Mhm.
remember the first time I heard Kanye's Jesus Walks and just
Ooh.
being literally blown away. I was 12 years old and just hearing that song and thinking, "Holy cow. Like you can actually do this. You can sit here and you can
Yeah.
do kind of a gospel thing, but also a rap thing." And ever since then, obviously there's a lot of things that have gone down that have, not so great, but his
Yeah.
music up until even that point was just so impactful, so original.
Mhm.
So much of the vision was so well crafted that he's always going to be probably like my number one.
Yeah.
After that, I would definitely go Prince. You know, Prince was
Mm,
such a legendary auteur of music and
yeah.
such an incredible musician, but songwriter.
Yeah.
But also, too, the thing about Prince that was so special was he really fought for songwriters and he
Yeah.
really fought for the music. And that to me
You
is
did.
just something that now, you know, navigating this in the industry in LA, just realizing how important that is. And he was just
Yeah.
so authentically him, you know?
Yeah.
And so it would definitely be Kanye, it would be Prince, and then it's a split between Michael Jackson and George Michael's. Like the thing is like
Ah.
yeah, because like Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. Like there's not a singer
Yeah. Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
alive
You can't.
that's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
every singer that's come after Michael Jackson is influenced by Michael Jackson. This is just the way he is. He's
This
just
is
that
true.
great.
This is.
But
Yeah.
for me, George Michael's was something kind of so cool because he was such an artist as well, but he was more
Mm,
pop. He was
yeah.
so, you know, just like him and his little guitar, and he
Yeah.
produced everything himself. He wrote it all himself. You know, a lot of people don't know, like, he
Mm.
wrote Careless Whisper at 16 years old.
Wow. I think really.
At 16, like, who writes like that at 16?
That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
You know what I mean? And so it's just one of those things
Yeah.
where like I've always watched him perform. Also, as a singer, he's such an incredible singer. I think there's something so
Mm,
important about being a great live singer.
yep.
And so he was such a great singer. So yeah, I would say those are my like top three
Top
slash
three.
four. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's really cool. No, and I ask you, I think it's important because you hear, and again, you go back to like impact that these artists can have on you, right? Like
Yeah.
even like Kanye, you know, like you're like, dang, that this one song, and I'm sure that for you, I mean, as an artist, that has to be somewhere where you're like, yeah, they're gonna be my top. Because again, people, I feel like the lyrics in certain songs when they hit, and I mean, even going back to like church, right? Because I grew up that way as well. I mean, I was in the worship leading as well, so you know, it's just like it's almost like um the energy that people feel when they're listening to a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether that's
Well,
gospel, whether that's right.
if you don't mind me interrupting, that's a lot
No,
of
no,
it
no.
too. That's where I kind of fell in love with dance in general because I
Uh,
wasn't growing up going to parties or my parents weren't going out to
mm,
the club in their 20s.
yeah, yeah,
Instead, you know, we were at church and it was dum 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 and everyone's just losing their mind and running
yeah.
around and it's just so Pentecostal and just, you know, and
Okay.
that was one of the things where it's like boom boom
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just like that kind of spurred that in me, that bit of just
Mm,
like this funkiness and groove, you know, and then mixed also too, like growing up Puerto Rican, hearing salsa
mm.
music all the time. Every Saturday when you heard that music, you know you was cleaning, you know, and just
That's
growing
me
up
still
with
every weekend.
come on.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
growing up and still hearing all of these different
yeah.
rhythms and sounds and grooves kind of come together. And so I would say a lot of just that is in what has made me as an artist for sure.
I love that. I love that because and that's why I love these conversations because you get to the root of it and you get to learn or more about the artist, you know, behind because I feel like
Yeah.
when I even me talking to you now I hear your music, you can understand the artist a little more, you know, and it's true. I mean, music is just something so powerful. This is why, you know, sometimes people ask me, why you interview people in the music? Because I love music, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
grew up that way, my
Yeah.
seeing my dad, my brother, my sister sings, like it's just something it's impactful, it's powerful, it's healing,
Mhm.
it feel good, like so I think it's really cool that you can be an artist that you put music out like that can actually
Yeah.
hit people like it when it does pop up on the For You page. I'm like, ooh, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
hear
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Let me hear that. Let me run that back.
Music's the language to the soul. And so
Oh,
it's
I
very
agree.
important that you can speak to the soul through music, depending on, you know, whether it's dance or whether it's some beautiful lyrics or even just the actual notes, you know, and just like
Yeah.
what you're singing and making people feel something that way.
It's very true because this is why I mean, and it's not about me, but I'm just saying I'm gonna start teaching dance again because I know for a fact that music and dancing is healing, and
Mhm.
you have to move your body and it has to like
Yeah.
because again we go through so much, in life, and many times we get stuck in like and this is like some real quick real talk conversation, we get stuck in
Yeah.
like in the stigmas, we get stuck in like
Ah,
the life's challenges, and
yeah.
unfortunately we get stuck in our routines, and this is why you find a lot of people, and a lot of people, I include myself, because I've gone through my fair share of stuff too, where you can get depressed, where you can get, um
Mhm.
like just in this bubble, you know what I mean? And I feel like
Mhm.
music has saved a lot of people in many ways, but I think it's so important to tap into that, because if people only understood like how healing music and moving your body and
Mhm.
dancing is, like it would just, I don't know, this world needs healing. We all need
Yeah,
healing, you know?
and
So
no one dances anymore.
it's
It's
true.
it's like you go out to parties, or even if you like, sometimes I'll go out to the
They just sound
club and
they're
stuff,
just
and
like this. Like this.
well, what the heck going
Right?
on? Like that was the one thing, at least, that
It's true.
I'm aging myself, but that was the one thing growing up that, in the
Mm.
2000s, that with music, people were still dancing. Like, you knew what time it was when you heard dum dum dum, like.
Like,
It's
oh
just,
my God.
you knew what time
Lessons.
it was. And I think that that's something that still to
Oh,
this day, and that's why I will say, as a person who considers themselves a bit more of an artist, I still champion people like Bruno
yeah,
Mars, because it's
yeah.
very important to still have these kind of artists that still are able to bring parties to life.
Like the
It's
song
still,
Just Might, or what is it called? It just might.
it's not,
Oh,
but not even that. Like, the second you hear boom, 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 boom,
yep.
boom, it's like,
I'm like,
you know, what time it is, and so it's just like, I think that that's just so important to still have, and it's just, it's sad
yeah,
to see, not enough people dancing anymore, but
I
I,
agree.
I agree with you. I think that there's something so beautiful and cathartic about music and dance and being able to let loose, especially in the times that we're in now. Things are just so uneasy and crazy, and
Mm,
to be able to take a moment and just shut your brain off and really just feel and not think,
yep,
as much as we all are. We're on our phones all day, and we're forced to think
yeah,
all the time about everything and our finances and just the world,
yeah.
and so to be able to take a moment with music and not think and really just
Mm,
be present, I think that that's still a power that music has. And I really hope that over the course of, the next couple of decades, that musicians, including myself, really take hold of things like social media and understand that this is such a cool tool to be able to stop the world in its tracks and
that
be
part.
able
Yep.
to make people be like, hey, it's gonna be all right, you know?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, and I love that, because I agree with you 100%. Again, it's funny how things align, right? Because that's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
at right now. Like I'm gonna start teaching again in a month, but I've done this for so many years. But
That's
this
awesome.
time around, yeah, thank you. This time around, though, at my age, because I'm way older than you, it's like you go through life, you go through experiences, and it's just so funny that we're talking about this. And now it's like you understand that if, I mean, you're gonna go through shit, right? You're gonna go through stuff,
Mhm,
but it's like, what do you do with it? Like, if something
mhm.
I've learned, because I've gotten physically sick, like because of stress and all this stuff, you know? So
Yeah.
if you don't move your body, if you're not doing something to heal, like to get yourself out of, like, because we become almost like robots, right? Like, this is life. You're
Mhm,
supposed to go to work, pay your bills, da, 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 da. And I always say, I don't want to live the rest of my life, however many more years I have, like work, and you die, and then you don't do anything that you love. Like, to me, this is
no.
why it's so important to move. And you find it that we have so much, what is, how do I want to say it? Like trauma, you have anxiety, stuff
Sure.
that's stuck in your body. And people
Yeah.
understood you by just listening to music and getting up and dancing and just moving your body, even exercise, right? But I'm saying it's
Yeah.
so healing. And many times, like you said, because since COVID till now, we're sedentary. We're on our computers, we're on our phones. We've disconnected from like real
Mhm.
connections. Would you agree?
Yeah. 100%.
It's
It's
sad.
also the thing is too, it's just so much easier. It's so much easier to sit at home and watch a movie versus going to a movie theater. It's so much
Exactly.
easier to
Shop.
just sit at home and listen to music instead of going to a show. And it's just sad, because it's like these things
Yeah.
exist. These are
Mm,
the purest forms of our existence as humans, to be able to connect with one another. And I think that
true.
connection's the one thing that I felt was lost the most during COVID.
Yep.
Like, especially because
Mm,
I live in LA, so it's so
yeah.
funny. I'm from Florida, but I live in LA, and I
Yeah.
remember just how shut down Los Angeles was
Mm.
for years, versus when I would go back home, everyone was just like,
Yeah.
just having a good time. And so the thing is though, is that the connection aspect, I really would love to see a world where people get back to just connecting again, whether
Mhm.
it's by film, music, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
I know that it's so easy to be able to be caught up in our own personal algorithms and just, what we have going on. But there's just something so
Yeah.
beautiful about being able to take a moment and actually be present with other people in this life
That's
through
so
these
true.
experiences of art. And so I would agree with you that connection has changed a lot. But I will say the one thing that I have really appreciated watching recently is I'm
Mhm.
watching as people are starting to change and realize, you know what, this is missing from all this
Yes.
authenticity and connection and realness. And so
Yep.
that's why I'm very excited to be working on music now during this time and getting ready to put this
Yeah.
out and just know that it's not going to fall on deaf ears. There's people who are looking
Yeah.
for this thing.
100%. I'm so glad that you said because like the timing is so perfect. You're
Yeah.
right. I feel like even though we talked about this, but I feel like many people. I don't think it's just you and I are yearning for like, hey, okay, we need connection again. I get goosebumps talking about it. Like even if it's through music, like even like I love going to concerts. I love going to live stuff. But
Mhm.
we have lost that unfortunately. But I hope and pray that it does turn around. But music, I feel like plays a big part of that. So I'm
Mhm.
excited, and even just like you and I right now in this interview, like we're talking and we're relaying it to people, like listen, you know what I mean, there's
Yeah.
more to life. But let's
Yeah.
talk about this album that you're gonna.
Hey.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I'm super excited, man, to hear the song. I know we're gonna show some songs here in just a little bit, but tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about the creative process of this new album. Oh, I'm excited.
Thank you. It's kind of crazy because growing up, I grew up with different kinds of artists that albums were everything. And so in my
Hmm.
mind, I was always going to put out an album after I got signed to a record label because that's what Justin
Oh,
Timberlake did, and that's what Beyonce does, and that's what, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
so the
yeah, yeah,
thing is, again, music's changed so much since then, and it's finally
yeah,
I've gotten to the place where me and my friend Harley, we were working on so many different songs that I started to put them next to each other, and I said, I think this is an album. I think we have something here. And it's so
yeah.
funny. So I started writing it and piecing it together. And I remember when I first went to Zach to show him the
Mhm.
other song, the Missing Some
Uh-huh.
You, and I played him the album. And sweet, such a sweet guy, Zach. He was kind of like, yo, like if you need any help, working on this, let me know. Great.
Yeah,
So but the thing is, me being me, I sometimes struggle with my own self-doubt and just thinking like, I don't
we all do.
know,
Yeah.
And so I didn't do nothing with that album for months. And I
Ah,
just kind of had it. And I remember going back to another session with him, and we just got done with the song, and he like pauses the song and he says, "So, what's up with the album?" And I was like, "What do
you're
you
like, so
mean?"
what?
And he literally looked at me. He said, "You really have something special here, and you really should take
Yeah.
advantage of putting this out." I said,
Oh,
"Oh." So
God.
literally the very next week, we immediately jumped in and really
That's
started
so cool.
crafting something. And so it's a really cool album because I've actually had it for unfortunately I've had it for 2 years, but it's also fortunately because it's finally gotten to the place where I understand what I really need to say and what I
Mm,
want to say on the album.
okay.
But essentially a few years back I went through a really really intense depression, and it
Yeah.
was I was suicidal and all these different things. I was just
Oh,
really
man,
going
I'm
through so
sorry.
much. And no, thank you. It's and it was one of those things where I remember going through it and getting to the other side of it, and finally going to therapy and doing the
Yeah.
work and realizing like, okay, I actually want to say something in my music again. I don't just want to make
Mm,
dance music. I actually want to say something, because that's how I grew up. I grew up writing a ton and
yeah.
trying to say a bunch in my music. And so this album, it's called It's a Good Life, right? Like question mark.
Okay.
And
Ah,
yeah, and so it's
I
essentially
like that.
just it. Thank you. And it's funny. It's pretty much a story from where I was kind of like in 2018 at the height
Hmm.
of everything I had going on in Tampa. I was
Hmm.
like, I would consider myself one of like the main players out there just doing so much. And, I was playing huge venues. I was on TV
Oh,
and the
cool.
newspaper. It was crazy, but
Wow.
I had reached my peak out there. And
Mm,
also too, like, I just wasn't a good person. While I was doing so many
mm,
crazy things, I just wasn't a good person to the people in my life, to the people that I said that I was loving, and all these different things. And so when I moved out to LA, I kind of took all that with me, and everything
mm.
kind of crashed like
Oh,
essentially 2019 into 2020, because of course the world stood still. So it was one of those things where I had to go through, again, a failed relationship and all these different things. And I said, dang, I think I'm the problem, and so
yeah.
writing about all of these different experiences from, that moment to recognizing, oh, this is why I do what I do, and this is me not thinking I deserve love, and that's why I push this away, and
Mm,
and then going into finding love again, and experiencing it in a more healthy way. And that's essentially the story of the album. And so I'm really excited. It's 13 songs.
oh wow.
The Yeah, and so we're hoping we're gonna have it out by May, latest June.
Okay.
And the first single will drop next month. Super excited. And it's just
Oh,
been a
that's
really
exciting.
cool, yeah, it's just been a really cool journey of really trying to write something that, again, is my authentic self, getting back to more of my pop roots, where I get to really just sing and not so much, focus on just being cool, but actually focus
Yeah,
on saying something and making people feel something. And I'm just really
I love
excited. I'm
that.
excited to get back to that, and like you were saying, to get back to connection and really
Mm,
just connecting with people in a different way that I feel as though I haven't done in my music for a while, until Baby I
yeah,
See You. And that was
yeah.
one of the things where I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's time to get back to this. And so I'm just so excited for that. And yeah, it's gonna be good. It comes out this summer, and I'm pumped.
That's
I'm so
exciting.
excited.
That's exciting. I was just gonna say, and before guys, we are gonna you're gonna tell me which songs you want me to put. But I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. Just because just listening to you, I mean, in life, right? I'm always gonna compare it to life, but it's like I
Yeah.
feel like as human beings, as individuals, like I said earlier, we go through things, but it's important. Growth is important. And
Hmm.
sometimes I know some people don't agree with this, but I always say everything happens for a reason, but it's up to
Oh
us
yeah.
whether we learn the lesson or not, right?
Hmm.
But regardless, like you have to grow, you learn, and sometimes you
Yeah.
change. And I feel like you have to evolve as a human being. And I can imagine as an artist, you have to do the same thing. So I think that's really
Hmm.
cool just to be able to see the growth. Sometimes you take turns, like you said, you know what? I'm still into like the groovy stuff and dancing stuff, but
Hmm.
I want to put out something that's gonna, like you said, connect with people that people can relate
Yeah.
to, and that people could be like, damn, like okay, I feel that, you know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. So I applaud you for that because I think that's important. I think that's important, and like you said, on times where we need that, we need that,
Hmm.
So I'm excited to hear the whole album. But let's go ahead. Okay, you're gonna tell me which one. Hold on, let me share this real quick.
Yeah.
I had to take it out, but I'm super excited. How
Come
many songs are
on.
we gonna share today?
Let's do two. Let's do two. My
Okay.
homie, I have a homie Gats, and he said, you better not play the whole album. And I was
I,
like, okay, okay, okay. So I'm gonna
I
I'm
know,
gonna
I
play
know.
the
I was like, tell me,
two.
tell me.
I'm gonna play two of my favorites. So there's a song there
Okay.
called "Please Don't Fall in Love." Let's start with
Ooh,
that one. This is not the first single, but this is a song that's super near and dear to my heart. So
okay.
Zach, who was in the other video for Missing Some You,
Yeah.
he wrote this song with me, and yeah, it's
Okay.
just a really fun, beautiful song, super R&B and pop. And yeah, I'll just let you play. I'll let you play.
Okay. So please don't fall in love. That one, right?
Please Don't Fall in Love. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm excited. Let me know. Make sure you hear everything. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. It's this here. Okay. Let's hope. Ooh, I already like it. You haven't even sung it.
Wrong time with the right person. Back here again. Thinking too much might hurt you. So listen, arms lift away. A little bit of fun ain't the worst thing. There's so much room to play between a love and a daydream. How can I stay strong when you smile? I try to fight the feeling, 'cause I just might give in. So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if you wanna need? So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if it's meant to be? Here we go again. Let the games begin.
Ooh, so good.
I know how this ends. chance is working. You do this to me, and I'm scared if I fall, it falls apart. But that's when you smile, and I can find how I feel. But tonight, I'm giving in. So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if you what I need? So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if it's meant to be? I know you don't mean no harm, but I try to guard my heart. I can't tell the two apart. And I said I wouldn't fall again, but you saw past my sin. Now I can't help but give you my heart.
Okay.
So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if you want it? So please don't fall in love with me. 'Cause what if it's meant to be? Please don't
Wow. Oh my God.
Hey, you like
That's
it?
so good. Oh my
It's
God, I
not.
love it.
It's still very much a rough mix. It's not finished, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
No, I love it. Like, listen to me.
Aw.
See, you know what I'm saying? You do it then, and I'm just like, oh, I don't no.
I'm glad.
I
I'm
love it. I
glad.
love it. Man, I'm excited to hear the whole. Wow, that's really good. I'm about to hear it again. Oh, wait, I can't do
Yeah.
it. Oh, wait, no,
No,
I can't hear it again. I'm just kidding.
Yes. No. You listen. You got. You could take that and listen to us. Let me know what you
I
think.
got yeah. No, I love it. Oh my God, so good, so good. So you wrote this
Thank
with
you.
What's his name? Again, I'm
With
sorry,
Zach. Yeah.
Zach. Okay. That's
Yeah.
so good. I love it. The
Yeah.
lyrics, the music, the intro, even just the
Thank
music without
you.
you starting to sing. It's like, okay, it's like kind of like we were talking about earlier, where you just hear it and you're like, okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Well,
You know?
it's so funny because it started off as a much faster song. It was like boom,
Really?
and we were like, nah.
Slow
So
down.
we slowed it super down to the boom, boom, and I was like,
I like
yo,
it.
this crazy. And I brought in my homie David Hartman. Shout out David, man. He played the guitar and it really brought it to life. Just
So
real
good.
deal. Oh, thank you. Just real deal R&B. And I just wanted to tell a story of kind of like, you know, it seems like, oh, please don't fall in love, but it's like, man, like what happens when it's like you actually find yourself actually catching feelings and now you're scared. You're scared to fall in love because you're like, oh my gosh, like what if this is the right thing? Like, oh my gosh, like what
Do
the
you know
heck?
how much
And
I can relate with that? And I'm just like, I'm scared. No, no gracias.
absolutely. Hey, Caleb, what's up? That's my baby bro.
I see that. I say
Um,
yes, sir.
yeah, and so that's just kind of one of those things where, but the cool thing is by the end of the song, it's one of those things where it's like, ah, dang it, we're here, we're falling in love, like, gosh darn it, like, all right. And I just think that's it just was a beautiful
It's
song
so
for
good.
that. Thank you. So this next song I'm gonna show you, I think you're really gonna love.
I'm so
It's like
excited.
my kind of,
Okay.
it's my like take on older funk R&B. It's called It
Ooh.
Was Always You. This is gonna be the first single, and it's probably one of my favorite songs in the album. And yeah, let's listen to that and then we'll talk about that one.
Let's look at you. See, you know, by me liking your music, you're like, all right, she's gonna like this.
I know you're gonna
So
like
let me
this
see.
one. Yeah,
It was
It Was
always you, that one,
Always You.
right?
That's the one. Yeah,
Oh, excited. Okay, here we go.
here we
Let's go.
go.
Let's go.
Can't explain what it feels like, but I can tell you when it feels right. You got me rethinking my whole life, and I'm entranced by your love. I've got it wrong too many times before, but watch me leave this here, go out the door. Cause with you, I bet I'll take the whole world. You're the only one I need. Ooh, baby, it's you. You know that it's you. Ooh, honey, I know you're the only one I see. Ooh, baby, it's you. You know that it's you. And I've been running around this life with a lost soul. But in you, baby, now I finally found a home. The other reason my heart sings, it's always been you. I don't know what I did to deserve this love. Used to wonder where, but it's not enough. I would trade it all just for your touch. In every choice, I'll always choose us. Ooh, little mama, you the type of girl we go to war for. Ask me how I knew, I said I've never been more sure. Life is just a dream, but with you I need forevermore. Hey, you're the only one I need. Ooh, baby, it's you. You know that it's you. Ooh, honey, I know you're the only one I see. Ooh, baby, it's you. You know that it's you. And I've been running around this life with a lost soul. But in you, baby, now I finally found a home. You're the reason my heart sings. It's always been you, my baby. It was always you. It was always you.
So good.
It was always you. It was always you.
Man. Wow, what a treat.
Hey.
That was so good. Oh my God, I love it.
you.
Seriously, you can see. I mean, I'm not gonna be lying because I'm like, if I could feel it, you're like,
Come on.
that's so good. I see. I love. This is what I'm saying. We talked about it earlier, but I love that type of where you can bring type. It's like a mixture, like you said, of music, of R&B, and like just soulful, but then also, it's so good. So good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one. I just think it's a perfect mix between all the different things that like makes me as an artist, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited to share that and just where I've grown as a writer, as a singer, and it's fun, and also musicianship.
I was like, ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
then also like thank you, and then also too just the actual musicianship, like the drums, and that's all live instruments. You know what I mean? That's all. That's my homie Trevor from back home. I have this guy John out here. He's an incredible drummer, and so just a bunch of different people that just come together to just make it something so fresh and special. And we had like a song that we were sampling, like an old song, but we didn't get the clearance, so it's like, you know what? Let's craft something just like that. Something just like. So it's just, it's real fun, and yeah, I'm so excited for this. So
I'm so excited. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Like I said, and I'm not just saying this interview, but like honestly, just the style, just the feeling of it, like even just the intro without even hearing any of the vocals and lyrics, it's like it's you can, I don't know, it's kind of like you could when it's gonna hit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. And then
Absolutely.
I mean, shoot, your vocals are like amazing. I was just like, ooh.
Thank
So
you.
it's like, listen, I'm so excited. You guys, make sure you guys follow him on all platforms because you guys have to stay on top of this when this releases. Whether it's, would you just say in May or June, maybe? Nothing confirmed yet, right?
If we're sticking to our timeline and nothing gets pushed back, we get to do everything. It drops in May. Worst case scenario, it drops in June. The whole thing, all 13 songs. But that song drops next month, and then we'll keep dropping songs up until then. And so I'm very excited to put it out finally for the world to hear.
Man, I am excited, and I thank you so much for sharing this, you guys. I mean, I love how we're gonna stay. We're gonna have this up. People can come and listen to this again. You guys got a treat for real.
Hey,
you guys are on the live,
thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. Or if you're watching, the replay, you guys definitely go follow Saint Rene because like this is just the beginning for you, my friend. I already know that. I already know.
Thank you.
You're definitely talented, and it's just look at they're waiting for this album to drop. Shout out to everybody, guys in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here.
Boo. Nah, Lisa's the best. She's been this is a person that's been following me for a while, and she's helped with my journey along the way. And so it's really dope to have her still here, you know, rocking with me. So yeah, absolutely.
I love that. And it's always beautiful to see support. And like I said, I can imagine just like you shared earlier, you know, the growth, the journey. I always tell people you have to embrace the journey, you know, regardless of what the goal is, what the, you know, or destination goal, if you can, because things change. You might be like, this is what I want, you know, and it changed and it works out. You have to just embrace it. So oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so
thank you.
I'm going to share these songs.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to drop it, man. I appreciate you sharing it on here. Like I'm excited. Like I said, I genuinely, you know that because I've been following you and I'd be like on your stuff. You're like, all right, she really likes my stuff.
Absolutely.
My music
well, if anything too, we can let's do this again. Let's do it close to when the album drops. We can sit, discuss the music, and talk. I'd love to do that again. I'd love to hop back on here and do this again.
Oh heck yeah! By that time, hopefully, I'll have better internet.
Hey, come on now.
Listen, but you know what, you guys, and I always tell people this is the cool thing about doing live because I can pre-record stuff. I just love to just do it, you know, just kind of like on the spot and people can hear like you have people join us, you know, live and comment on stuff like this. So super exciting, but definitely 100% you are always welcome back. I would love to have you back when we drop the whole album and I'm super excited for you. Like seriously,
thank you.
Genuinely, the musicians, everybody a part of this, like it's beautiful, like it's so professional, like it's really good. And I'm not just saying that. I'm serious. So if you guys are watching, if you're watching the replay, let us know what you guys think and drop it in the comments. Look at it. Yes, please do it again. What did she say? Lisa said, yes, please do this again. So much fun to watch you interact.
Thank you, mama.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And if you ever do like an in-person type of concert, you will let me know. Or if you come to Salt Lake City,
let me tell you something. I love me some Salt Lake City, so I would love to go out there and do a show within like the next year or two.
You know
so
what?
I'll definitely let you know.
Let me know if unless you have connections. But I know some people now that I'm doing this more that do that, like just make events happen, bring local artists. I know there's an artist I think he's from LA too who came to Salt Lake City a few weeks ago. I wasn't able to go, but that would be so dope. For sure, we gotta make it happen. Yeah. If you're ever here, I think that would be so dope to hear you live because again, it's kind of like you enjoy obviously the album, you hear the music, but like live it just hits different. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And hey, I sound good live. I sound just like the record, so it'll be good. It'll be fun. No,
I believe it. You know, that's so true. Because going back to Bruno Mars, I remember when I went to his concert, I was just like, "This
girl, he sounds just like the song." You're just like, "Wow."
Or if not better. I'm telling you guys, I want to go so back to his concert. Shoot, his tickets start like $300, $400. I'm like,
I know.
It's worth it though. I'm telling you, it's worth it. So
it's the same always thing. Worth it. We got to keep it alive.
Let's do that. Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, man, I'm very mindful of people's time. I appreciate you accepting the invite. I appreciate you making time for me. And not just that, but also sharing these beautiful songs. I'm so excited to hear the rest of them and for you to drop this album and songs. And, I'm going to keep sharing your stuff, as long as you say, hey,
absolutely.
I'm still in my platform, but
come on. That's what it's all about. We're getting there. I'm going just the same as you. We're on a journey, and so I'll see you in June then. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let me know. Give me
a back in the summer.
I'm so excited. All right, well, guys, everybody who tuned in, we appreciate you guys. If you guys could do me a huge favor when we're done with the live, I might have to go and edit some stuff. I'm not sure, but just come back and comment and share and let us know what you think. But any last words you want to say to people watching this or replays, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely follow me online. You can find me at the Saint Rene. That's TheSaintRene everywhere.
It's down
YouTube,
here.
All this stuff. Oh, perfect. There you go. Follow me there. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Guys, support all the artists you see online. If you see somebody's stuff and you like it, comment, let them know, share it. It means the world to us. Keep live music alive. Screw AI. Let's just keep making this music. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's tuning in, listening. And I just want to say thank you again so much for having me on here. And yeah, I look forward to coming back and showing you even more.
I love that. Yeah, no, thank you. You're right. I'm not gonna lie. Here's some AI stuff. I'm like, oh, that's. But I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know that until
the game good. Good. My guilty pleasure is the choir thong song.
Oh, I've heard that one. Oh my god!
Great. I was looking again. I'm like, It's so
You
crazy,
know,
but nah,
but you know
definitely
what's-
not.
but you know what's crazy? Okay, and we're gonna wrap it up. I promise.
You
But
good.
it's crazy that you say that because AI is crazy. I remember I've been hearing some songs in Spanish too, and I'm like, ooh, that's good. At first, my ass, I didn't know. I was just like, wait, like, hold on, who's singing this? Like, who
Yeah.
is, you know, me? I'm out there trying to look at artists and stuff like that, and I'm like, what? Which, okay, whoever. I mean, obviously somebody has to write it, right? But it's like it's not an artist. But you said something important. It's like, although some of them might be like, all right, that's okay, but we definitely don't want to take away from talented
Nah,
artists like
yeah.
yourself, and not just that, just
Absolutely.
again the connection, the
Yeah.
live, like the because it definitely hits different and it's more healing. So with that being said,
Absolutely.
yeah, make sure
Yeah,
to follow
no,
him.
on our
It should be down here.
absolutely
ahead,
our
sorry.
next talk will no worries. On our next talk, we'll talk more AI because that's a cool conversation I like to have. So
It is a cool conversation. Yeah. So guys, make sure you follow him at the Saint Rene. It's right here. You should see it on the bottom of the screen. But that's it, you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And if anybody watching, you guys want to come on the podcast, just message me and we'll make it happen. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm excited to talk to you again in June and for you to drop this amazing album. Just those 2 songs I heard already. I'm just like, all right, I'm sold.
Thank you so much. We'll be talking again soon.
Yes. So make sure you guys follow him. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you again so much, you guys, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
God
Bye.
bless
Good night.
y'all.